Hi everyone, Nova here from Brighter Outlook Counselling Service with this week's live stream Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Question, Answer and Support Session. Thank you for joining me here tonight. It's fantastic, as always, to have you back. Okay, for all the newcomers here tonight, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know that you will get lots and lots of support tonight. I guess, being here tonight with other victims and survivors who have gone through pretty much exactly what you have gone through. It's always so hard with narcissistic abuse, if not impossible, to find someone who actually understands your experience, can validate it, and can go, hey, I get it. I get what you've been through because I've been there. I talk to many of you every day. I'm a professional counsellor on the north side of Brisbane, and my passion, my job, but also my passion is to speak with victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse every single day. That's my job. And I love being able to help you. Already tonight we've got Angie Huff there. Hi Angie, thanks for joining us. So yeah, just in saying that, guys, if you would like to have a one-on-one with me, a private counselling session, please just inbox me here at Brighter Outlook, and I would love to be able to support you. So yes, welcome to everyone, especially all the newcomers. Please talk to other people when you see that they've that they've gone through something that you have, and you recognise that. I guess that's another thing that tonight is all about. It's about providing support to others, but also about getting support yourself. And tonight we are so lucky once again to have David Demars joining us to co-host the show. He'll be joining us all the way from Las Vegas, as he always does every second Tuesday night. Now I can see David there, so I'm going to try and let him in. I've had a bit of trouble with this lately, so just bear with me and we'll see what happens. Bring David on. And there he is. How you going, David?
Good. Hi. How are you?
I'm very well. That was really quick. We are getting so good at this.
Yeah. Professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to go into the movie making business. What do you reckon?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, a little bit more practice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, that
yeah.
would help.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, we've only got, because we got you in so early tonight, which is fantastic. We've only got a couple of people here. So we've got Angie and we've got Liz there. Hi, Liz. Thanks for joining us. Now, guys, as you join, David and I here tonight, please, as always, say hi. Say whereabouts you're from in the world, just so we can say hi back. And you never know, as I always say, whether there's someone right around the corner who's going through exactly what you're going through. So yeah, hi and where you're from, that would be fantastic. So, David, what are we going to talk about tonight?
Something very important after relationships with anyone. Closure, and how narcissists cannot give closure. Very important. Big
Absolutely.
reason we're all here.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Bron
Yeah.
there. Hi, Bron. And we've got Kathy Green. Says hi, Nova and David. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Bron. So yeah, closure. Oh my goodness. Clearly, this is what leaves victims. Well, is another thing that leaves victims so distraught after these relationships, because you want to know why. Why did this happen? Why did our relationship end? And you want to be able to put a neat little bow around it and go, not that maybe you're not happy about it, or maybe you are happy about it, but you want to know why, so you can put it to rest and move on. But without any closure, it's just impossible, isn't it?
It really is. And that leads to most of us searching for answers. What happened? What was that? What's going on? Um, Failed relationships aren't easy for anyone. When they end, we really owe the other person an explanation, and an honest one too. No excuses. Oh, it's just me, or it's the typical BS excuses we've all heard. And we really need to know. And even if it's hurtful, even if it's not something that we want to tell somebody, we owe that person that. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're not attracted to them anymore. Tell them, I'm sorry, but I'm just not attracted to you anymore. And I really think we owe that to other people. And the more honest we can be, I think the better. And, you know, when I say cannot in the title, cannot give closure, they cannot. They cannot. They
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think tonight would be really good because I know you guys out there. We've got Danielle Adam there. Hi, Danielle. I think it'd be really good to go through the reasons why, because there's very specific reasons why they do not give closure. They don't want to give closure, and this is what keeps victims hanging on because they don't get that closure. I guess let's talk about that. Why don't they? Why doesn't a narcissist want to give you closure when the relationship is clearly over?
Right. And like you said, there's more than one reason. So I think, you know, one aspect of this is attachment problems, attachment difficulties, meaning most people can attach to somebody they get close to eventually. And having attachment disorders or just problems also means detaching. And a lot of disordered people will not detach from you, even when it looks like they could care less about you. They walk out the door, they're dating someone else, you know, they're even going to marry someone else within 30 days after your relationship's over. Really looks like they don't care at all. That's just how they deal with it. That's the way they deal with it. People deal with these things differently. Narcissists don't deal with it. So they don't detach, and they're not giving you closure. They're not receiving closure either. And they're trying to ignore the pain and the loss and the insecurities and the shame that they feel too. So I think that's a real important aspect for people to know, that they aren't going to detach. They aren't going to heal from this relationship. They don't have anything to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And I get when you talk about, detaching from a relationship, we've got to remember that they were never attached in the first place. Like we were all just, as victims, we were just objects, to satiate to give them narcissistic supply, to keep that, that false ego going. So if you're not attached in the first place to them, why do I need to give you closure? You were just there to meet my needs, and of course, they never think that they did anything wrong. So if the relationship has ended, it's your fault. You did something wrong. So of course it was going to end. So suffer the consequences because this is all your fault.
Yeah, yeah. If someone never attaches in the relationship, it's pretty easy, I guess, to leave. Um, and if they keep coming back, I guess it's to get what they want, what they used to get from you, and that's a source that they don't want to cut off.
Yeah,
Sure. And
it's
and
fun.
you know, it's more than just attention. It's, security. Maybe you make them feel safe. Maybe you make them feel good. You listen to their BS. You pay for their bills. You have sex with them. Whatever it is they're coming back for. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of they're leaving by not giving you closure. They're leaving the door open, aren't they, so that they can come back and hoover you back into that relationship. And I guess the narcissist knows, like we all know that their life depends on maintaining, that false self, that their ego. So, they need that narcissistic supply. Their life depends on it. And they get a big, big hit of power, of that fuel, of that narcissistic supply, knowing that they are inside your head and you're craving them and you're pining for them and you want answers for them. That you can just see the smirk on their face. That gives them a big hit of power, knowing that they have something that you want and you're not going to get it.
Yeah, and being able to come back in and out of your life as they please, you sitting at home upset, waiting for them, never dating anybody else. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Way to really reinforce their huge false ego. Yeah,
yeah. And
absolutely.
I guess it's all about winning too, isn't it? It's with a narcissist, it's always it can never be win-win. You know, it can never be well. You know, when a normal couple, when they're not disordered, when you break up, you know, I guess you come together and you go, a normal person with empathy, and you go, yeah, well, hey, you know, I did this, I stuffed up, but you know, it wasn't meant to be. But and you both move on. But for a narcissist to admit that they had any wrongdoing, which they ultimately would be doing by giving you closure and giving you answers,
Yeah.
that kind of leaves them vulnerable, and it means they're not as, you know, superior as they make out to be, because to say, hey, yeah, I played a bit of a part in this breakup, they would have to take accountability. They would have to show some responsibility. And of course, we know narcissists, you know, it wasn't my fault. It was all you. So this is another reason they won't give you closure. It's because, yeah, they're not taking any accountability for the breakup.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. Responsibility, accountability. Yeah. I mean, and that's what we're doing when we give closure, aren't we? We're kind of admitting, taking some faults, some responsibility. That's what we do. Um, Without it, we think most normal people think it's all our fault without any of that closure, without taking some responsibility.
Yeah,
Um, but really long bad experiences, many bad experiences, trauma or abuse, failed relationships. We don't understand. If we don't understand what happened, what that was, it's our fault. That's shame. I mean, that's we're bad people, and that shame, fear, and guilt really come into play,
yeah,
as we all know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
closure helps process these feelings, these emotions. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's another reason that victims come off just so completely traumatized, you know, after these relationships with no closure, is that, well, before the relationship ends, they have been so abused, so psychologically, emotionally abused. They are so incredibly vulnerable that they are willing to pretty much do anything and own everything that was wrong with the relationship. They are just in that headspace where they've been brainwashed. It's like, you know, yeah, I was wrong. You know, let's just work it out. You're right. I was wrong. Can we just, you know, work on this and get back together? And of course, this just puts you right in the narcissist's hands again, because they've got you scrambling to please them, even though
absolutely.
they've done completely the wrong thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think step number one coming out of a relationship like this is be aware that what you experience, if you've experienced abuse, be aware that you've experienced abuse. And that's really common. People come out of this experience and don't even realize that. They don't
Yeah,
realize that your bad relationship was actually very abusive towards you. And
yeah.
that's, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
the very nature of a relationship with a narcissist, isn't it? You don't know what you've been through until you somehow come out of that fog. You get it pointed out to you. You start googling. You know, you don't know, so you take on that blame because you've been conditioned that everything is your fault through the gaslighting, and you need to rectify and remedy your behavior. So, of course, if you know this person ends the relationship, they leave, they move on with someone else, and they were so good to you in the beginning, you know, and our brains cling on to those good times, you know, with cognitive dissonance. We don't want to remember all that abuse. We yeah we are prepared to own it because we've been conditioned that we're always wrong and to not trust our gut instinct.
that's right. Yeah, we won't remember the bad things because the bad things mean that that's our fault. We're bad. So we'll remember the good times. Yeah. And that's what keeps us attached and clinged and invested in that relationship still. Yeah.
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 So what do you think victims? What do you think victims should do when I guess they finally work out they've been with a narcissist and they can't get that closure? How do you move on with no closure?
Yeah. Well, you need it still. If you're not going to get it from them, it's time to start doing it yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. So all these bad, basically we've got lots of questions we need answers to. So that it's time to start finding answers to your questions and
yeah,
really start understanding what happened. Really, that's real healing and processing what happened. We can't ignore it. We can't suppress it. We can't drink it away. We can't get high. We can't eat. We can't not eat. We can't work all the time. And those are normal reactions to stuff like this. And you'll find yourself doing these things. And it's just, it's just trying to, distract yourself from bad feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess
Yeah.
that's what closure is all about, isn't it? It's about getting answers so you can go, whether you like it or not, okay, it is what it is, and move on. But yeah, if you can't get it from the narcissist, then you have to give it to yourself. You have to forgive yourself, and give yourself closure. And I guess tell yourself that you're not going to get closure from the narcissist. It's never going to happen.
That's right. That's right. I mean, trauma is simply our emotions. We're too much for us to handle, and we don't understand what happened. So at some point, we need to start real learning, so that we understand it. It just helps us feel comfortable with what happened. These, lots of anger and wanting revenge, things like this. It's just obvious. You need to keep trying, give yourself more time, and try to keep learning and understanding what happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely, 100%. And having your experiences validated and knowing exactly what you've been through is going to help with that. And I guess that's what one of the most important things, isn't it, with narcissistic abuse, is having your experiences validated, which is what so many victims, well, they absolutely need it and crave it, but they don't get, because there's such a lack of understanding out there about the destruction that this type of emotional and psychological abuse causes to people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Really hard to understand. It's hard to understand most experiences that you've had. And we know that. We look at our own childhood. It's hard for us to see, things that happen or things that were wrong in our childhood. Everything's normal to us. So we need that pointed out to us sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that validation is absolutely what we all want and what we all need right away. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, David, we've got lots of people here now, so we might start answering some questions. So I'm just going to scroll through, and hopefully I won't lose anyone. See who's here tonight. We've got heaps of people have joined since I last had a check. So we've got Kathy Green, we've got Leo Roymani says hi, David. Hi, Leo. We've got
Yeah.
Hamid Oladoonjoy, sorry, Hamid, I'm sure I've pronounced that wrong, says, hi, Joshua from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow, Hamid, I don't think we've had anyone from Nigeria before, but welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've got Teresa Gali says, hi, guys, from Penrith, New South Wales. We've got Alicia Wright's here from Hamilton, Brisbane. Danielle from Frankston. Christy Thorpe is here. Hi, Christy. And we've got Mylene Carner here. Hi, Mylene. And she says, hi, Nova David. Okay, so Kathy Green's got a question. So we'll start with you, Kathy. Okay, so I've just opened it up. Okay. So Kathy says, is it normal for a narc to say they've moved forward and wish you well, or is this another tactic to make you feel worthless and discarded? Yet he still won't take accountability for what he's done and projecting his behaviour on me. What do you say, David? Is that normal for them to go, oh, I wish you well, I want you to have a good life?
Absolutely. False ego. It's just all false ego. Big ego, it's all fake, right? Why? Why do they have this? To protect shame. It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
If we all feel like bad people, then we don't feel equal, right? We're down here a little bit. So are they. They're way down here. What do? I'm better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just better. So I can't allow myself to look weak or, I mean, they can't even apologize. And that's serious. They can't say, oh, I had any fault. I did something wrong, because just the slightest little bit of something that they did that was wrong, or a little mistake or something like that, then it's like they take the whole cake, the whole shame pie. It's like and you guys know that there's not a nice enough way to tell a narcissist what they've done wrong. There's just no way to tell them with a good response from them. Because
Yeah.
you're telling them they're a bad person no matter what. That's
You
how they take it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you basically, if you want to tell them they've done anything wrong, whether they put too much sugar in your coffee, even, you basically got to wear a bomb suit, don't you? You know, a protection suit against the explosives that are going to come your way. Any perception of criticism is taken and they will punish you for it, because what you've done is you have attacked that false self that they have spent a lifetime manufacturing, that says I'm better than everyone else and no one can get me. Yeah.
That's right. No one can test that, because that false ego, as big as it is real thin, real fragile. You
Yeah.
can't poke them. You got to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess when they say, Kathy, what did he say? Well, wishing you well. I mean, what a better way to make you feel just crazy when they have just done the most miserable, disgusting, hurtful thing they can possibly do. And in this humble kind of way, go, I wish you well. I only want what's best for you. I hope you have a happy life. And you just sit there and you just want to give them a knuckle sandwich, and it's just, I guess, another way to get you to react and get you, questioning yourself. Were they really as bad as I thought? Because they're being, quite nice now. And I've been, reacting and arcing up. Maybe the problem was with me. So it's just another way of getting you off balance because they're acting so nice.
Right, right. I mean, shame is huge. If your parents punished you every day and never explained to you or told you why, you're going to feel like a horrible person. That's what they're telling you without saying anything. You need this explanation. Without this closure, it's already shameful. You already feel like it's a lot your fault. You're a bad person. You deserve this. Yeah. So not giving you any validation, moving on, I'm happy. Oh, I finally found someone else. These kinds of things is just destructive.
Yeah.
It's destructive. And we keep looking. We keep looking at it. And we keep checking on their Facebook status and saying, oh, is their new relationship still working? Oh God, I'm horrible. They're happy. I'm horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me because look, they're so happy. They've got a new soulmate for this month. They're happy again like they were with the last soulmate. And yeah, Kathy, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's designed to dig the boot in and really make you feel bad about yourself. So just don't let it. Look at it for what it is, and yeah, it's just their way of making you feel even worse. Yeah,
Absolutely. And it works.
absolutely, it does. Okay, we've got Amanda Graver there from Melbourne. Hi, Amanda. We've got Karen Connors there. Hi, Karen. We've got Trisha Craig here. Okay, Trisha's got a question. So narcissistic personalities stem from some type of abuse at a young age, roughly 5 years. It affects the frontal part of the brain, question mark, just trying to understand it a little better from that perspective. Okay, so I'll tackle that one, Trisha. Look, there is absolutely nothing that is set in stone because you can't pick apart a narcissist's brain, and none of them go to counselling to be tested. But the consensus is the majority of research says that a narcissist went through some kind of trauma, didn't they, David, at around the age of, 4, 5, or 6. And because of that trauma, I guess you could say, as a coping mechanism, a faulty coping mechanism, they developed a false self, okay? To shield them from whatever was going on, they developed this false self which says, I'm superior, nothing can hurt me. But the fallout from that is this becomes who they are. They spend their lifetime manufacturing this false ego so that they can never be that wounded child again. And this ego, their life depends on it. Okay, but the fallout from that is when they develop this false ego, yes, around about the age of 5 or 6, they completely lose any ability to have any empathy, because when you have empathy, you are susceptible to being hurt. Okay, so empathy is a weakness. That's why they can look at you crying and step over your body that's just wrapped in sobs, because they have absolutely no empathy, which is, I guess, the defining, lack of remorse are the two defining characteristics of a narcissist. So yes, I'm not too sure, about the brain parts. David, you might be able to know a bit more about anatomy. I'm not too big on that, but I know that this is a personality disorder. It's not a mental health issue, but something changes where they develop another personality. But it's not like, multiple personality disorders where, you have a few going on. This is who they are. So when you see that nasty, evil, demonic person, that is the true self that you've seen behind the mask. And that is the true self that they spend a lifetime hiding with their false persona that says, I'm superior from you and everyone else, and you're weak and you will never, ever hurt me again. It's kind of, yeah. Would you add anything onto that, David?
Great explanation. Yeah. And like you said, because there's nothing exact or set in stone that they're saying causes narcissism, but we do know that it's environmental. I mean, it's I always call it inappropriate parenting. And that's huge, that's wide, but it really is inappropriate parenting, whether it's, kind of the idea of punishment when they didn't deserve it and no punishment when they needed it, kind of thing, and real lack of boundaries, things like this. So they don't develop their personality appropriately. They don't develop empathy. And she was right, empathy is in the frontal lobe of your brain. So this development that we need all the way into adulthood, it kind of halts and hinders, stops at 5, 6, 7. So these are emotional children that do not, they just don't have the capacity like we do to have relationships with people.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy, it's dysfunctional. Yeah.
Absolutely. But guys, the biggest mistake that people make when they learn that is that thinking that narcissists, that we should feel sorry for them, and that narcissists can't help, what they do. That, their emotions, their emotional intellect, if you want to call it that, the emotional maturity halts at that age. Okay. So, as we as non-disordered people, we keep, growing emotionally till, I don't know, 20, 21, something like that. Our brain stops growing. But a narcissist's emotional maturity stops at that age. That's why, as David said, it's like talking. You're arguing with a petulant child. You will, like a monkey throwing poo at you in a zoo, when you've caught them out doing something wrong. They'll just have a massive tantrum like a toddler, because that's where their emotional maturity is. But their intellect, and as you guys know, they can be very, very smart. And to maintain that false ego, they like have a PhD in it, don't they, David? That's their doctorate is in narcissism. So you never, ever underestimate the narcissist in what they can do to you, because everything they do is intentional, okay? If it wasn't intentional, they would engage in those horrific behaviors all the time. So make no mistake, they know what they're doing. They are smart enough to know that they are hurting you, and you tell them, hey, this is hurting me. They know they're hurting you. They just don't care, because they justify it with their, with their personality disorder, that you deserved whatever's happening to you, and it's all your fault. So they just don't care, but they know it's hurting you.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're not crazy. They know what they're doing. They have, they make their own conscious choices just like everyone else. There's different kinds of empathy. They don't develop the kind of empathy that where they feel your pain, and so they can abuse you and it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
But they know it hurts. They've got that kind of empathy. They know that it hurts you just like it would hurt them. Just don't care.
Their ego is more important than anything. And to have empathy for you when they hurt you is for them to be vulnerable and to have a weakness. So that's why they never, ever, be accountable for anything they do to you. Yeah. This is why you have no contact to get away.
Yeah. And I get asked all the time, I'm sure you do too. And a big thing we all want to know You know, were they genuine? Were they sincere? Can they love? Did they love me? I get, you know, that's what we all want to know. We're seeking that kind of validation. Yeah, they did care. But instead of trying to figure out that answer, instead of trying to find the answer of how they really felt about you or did they really care, things like this, try to understand that it's not about the genuine, how genuine or sincere. It's about capacity. It's about ability. They don't have it. They can't do it. They can't have relationships with you that and feel the way that you do. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna. They can't have the capacity, or they don't have the ability or capacity to have relationships with people. That isn't a choice. They can't do it.
Yeah, they will exploit anyone and everyone. You know, that if they are, yeah, David's absolutely right. There's no point in analysing what they do. You know, are they sincere? Have they been genuine? Is it coming from a place of genuineness? They don't have the capacity for that. But I guess people get confused, David, when they do see them being, you know, absolutely loving and you know, they did all these wonderful things for me. You know, when they're throwing out those breadcrumbs. And I guess, guys, what you have to look at is the intention and the motivation behind those actions. Because as we know, with a narcissist, every single thing they do is about what they can get back in return. So if they see a little old lady that falls down on the street, this is just an example I'm pulling off the top of my head, see a little old lady fall down, you know, look to see, they might see people around. So they race up and, you know, help that little old lady stand up. Um, a normal, non-disordered person would think about doing that anyway, whether someone was looking or not. But a narcissist would think to themselves, people will think that that's a really cool thing and that I'm a really, you know, powerful guy or a powerful woman if or a really kind-hearted woman if I go and they see me doing the right thing. So the motivation behind that act is selfish. What they're wanting is what the society and the community is reflecting back to them, which is you are a wonderful person. So everything they do when you are looking at whether they were sincere or not, it is always about the narcissist and it is always about what they are going to get back in return. Yeah.
Yeah, that narcissism basically is the world revolves around me. So they can't think about you. They're not going to. They don't have that capacity to
Yeah.
understand how you feel about things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I hope that's answered your question, Trisha. Okay, we've got Leanne Carmichael. Hope I said that right tonight, Leanne. She says, hi, everyone from Brisbane. How you going, Leanne? We've got Maxine Green here tonight. Hi, Maxine. Colleen Deegan's here from Brisbane. Hi, Colleen. Maxine says, my niece has been bullying my 11-year-old daughter and me my niece has been bullying my 11-year-old daughter and me and her had a fight. She is 40, my niece. So, yeah, it sounds like maybe you're thinking that your niece has got some narcissistic traits because she was bullying your niece. Yeah, I guess she's lucky that she's got you, Maxine, to step in for her. But certainly, if your niece is, your daughter is being bullied, then she's really lucky that she's got you, especially you who knows about narcissistic abuse and can protect her. Yeah. Little Miss Rach is here. Liz is here. Liz says, what if it's a family member? Example, a mother. I've had to remove her from my life so my kids don't see her. She's very manipulative. I would just listen to her cry, saying she's in pain. I'm just going to open up your question. I've never had an attachment to her, but saying that I married, the same thing. Yeah, so common, Liz. How do I move on? I'm still having nightmares 4 years later. Narcissistic mother, David.
That's tough. It's real hard. Family members, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, friends. We can end these relationships and understand, okay, this needs to end. It's over. Family's real tough, real tough. And you hear in the community all the time, it's always no contact, end the relationship, it's over forever. And that's not very realistic for most people to do that to their family. I know you said you're not attached to your mother. Maybe ending that relationship wouldn't be hard for you, but there's always a lot to learn. If you're traumatized and you have nightmares, things like this, uh, something needs to be done. There's a problem. So, best advice I give to people is you need to heal from this. Try and maybe separate yourself from her temporarily, create some space in between both of you. It's really hard to see the picture of what's going on when you're in it. Try to step outside and create some space, create some time before maybe you contact her again. It doesn't have to be forever. It's all temporary. But my advice is definitely try to limit contact with your mother for a while. Start trying to focus on these bad feelings you have, thoughts and nightmares. These are all indications that you're suffering, that your brain's saying, hey, pay attention to this. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what you need to start doing is really start learning and understanding and taking your time to feel better about what's happened. And at some later time, when you feel okay, you can contact your mother again and have a little bit, stronger, so a little bit more confidence inside yourself to deal with her and not have such a strong emotional reaction to her behaviors.
Yeah, some boundaries. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Everything David said, Liz. Yeah, you have to heal. You said you never had an attachment to her, but that doesn't take away the pain that, hey, the person who's supposed to be the most important role model in my life, my mother, didn't care for me for like she was supposed to. That's a huge thing for someone to accept, that someone who's supposed to love you unconditionally didn't do their job. So that's something that I urge you to work through, because it was never your fault, but it's going to be your responsibility to heal from that. And it's awful to hear that you're having nightmares. So please, talk about this. Maybe get some therapy to work through, what's happened to you, because that's trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah.
Okay. We've got Kylie Gavin here. How sad listening to this. Not fair what we go through. No, it's absolutely not, Kylie. And true, you don't know. I feel deflated massively still after 10 years. Okay, Kylie, well, I guess I'll give you the same advice that I give Liz. Please, if you haven't, maybe get some therapy and continue to talk to other victims and survivors, because this was never your fault. You are with someone who's disordered, and their job was to make you feel bad and to just, wreck your life. So it really takes some work to move through that. So, yeah, but don't give up. You will get there, I promise you.
Yeah. Yeah. She has compassion for others. It sounds like so. Have that for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Actually, David, I just thought of something I thought we might get back to just when we were answering that question about how narcissists developed. I thought a lot of people ask me, well, if brothers and sisters are brought up in the same environment and they've got the same gene pool and that, why is my brother and my sister narcissistic? And, I'm this really empathic person. So I just thought of that, and I just wanted to say that this is why there is no definitive, reasoning behind, how they actually become narcissists, because that some research say that there's like a bit of a genetic component there. We don't know how much I guess you were exposed to the toxicity. Maybe you were the golden child, maybe you were a scapegoat child, and one was more abused than the other. Maybe one child had, wasn't was given a bit more nurturing than the other. So it's totally normal to have narcissistic siblings and non-narcissistic siblings that are brought up by the same biological parents. Why? There's all those kind of little variables there that we just don't know. But yeah, as you guys know, it certainly does happen. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up while I thought of it.
Yeah, tons of factors. There, and like you said, there is a predisposition. We all are a little predisposed to our personalities kind of formed from our parents a little genetically. We might respond to things similar.
Yeah.
And all of us have different experiences. There's no way two children have the same experience in the home.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And our brains are different. Our brains respond and react differently all the time.
Yeah.
Not only maybe you both were treated differently from both parents, but also there's other factors, there's other family members. Maybe you had an uncle that looked in your eyes and said, I love you and smile and treated you like a normal human being, whereas the narcissist or the borderline or things like this did not. Maybe they didn't have that. So there's just all kinds of factors. And people, I get that all the time. I get like, well, maybe I'm a narcissist because I went through the same things that narcissists went through, so I must be too, and things like this. And it's just, no, we all respond and react differently. None of us had the same experience. None of us. None of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got Leola May there. Hi, Leola. Says hi, Nova and David from hot Melbourne. Oh, my goodness, you're having a heat wave down there, aren't you? It's hot in Brisbane too. Little Miss Rach is there, says, how do you stop the anxiety and numerous triggers caused from a narc happening in any future relationships? Oh, isn't this just like a number one concern of people? It's like, oh, I'm so scared this is going to happen again, David.
That's right. So, anxiety and fears and stuff like this, these bad things, they turn into phobias. They turn into phobias, and it's our brain just saying, watch out, you're going to die. We don't want to experience this again. So it's real important to understand. If you don't know what happened, fear becomes this huge, huge thing, this huge phobia of, I can't date again. It's going to happen again, things like this. So feel better, understand what happened, and you got to have better positive experiences. These negative experiences killed confidence. You can't have confidence without some type of action taken. So we got to try again, and we got to have more positive outcomes. So learn. I'm telling you, it's all about learning. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn what you went through, have your experiences validated, and just remember, always keep telling yourself that fear has been put in your head from your abuser. So when you start healing and you know what you've been through, you realize that you were taught not to trust your gut instincts. When you relearn all these things that you were brainwashed with, and you start trusting your gut instinct again, when someone comes along who's disordered, and you're going to be able to pick up those red flags a lot earlier. And most of the time, when you've got so much knowledge behind you and so much self-care and you're feeling so much stronger, those red flags will probably be deal breakers. So that's where you've got to allow yourself time to heal and rely on that knowledge that you now have, and you are now trusting your gut instinct. Okay, you haven't got that narcissist there anymore saying your gut instinct is so wrong, and you can trust yourself to look at those red flags. Does it mean you won't meet a narcissist in your life again? No. They're everywhere. They walk beside us, don't they, David? They are everywhere. There's an epidemic out there, but you will be able to pick up on the red flags, and you will be out of there a lot sooner than you would before, that's for sure.
That's right. Having an experience like this can be the reason you do it again if you don't learn. Having an experience like this will be the reason you never do it again if you learn.
Okay? That's so well put. Exactly right. If you don't learn, how common is it for people to go from one narcissist to the other because they haven't worked through their experiences? And it's because they don't realize that on a subconscious level, they are seeking out what they know, what is familiar. Okay. And they ignore all those red flags because they haven't worked through their trauma. Yeah. So such a good
shame.
point.
Shame, I'm a bad person. So if you don't understand, you're a bad person. If you don't understand, you deserve it, and you'll allow someone to do it again. Big time. Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got Rebecca Cop there. Hi, Rebecca. Says hi, Nova and David from Sydney, Australia. Excuse me. We've got Jackie Louise Dixon there. Hi, Jackie. Leah Vistas here. Hi, Leah. Kylie says, yes, we have to heal, and it's us that can only start this with or without closure. Yeah, you said it. Just great words of advice for everyone, Kylie. Uh, Jody Randall's there, says, hi, guys. Rebecca says, when I met new people, friends, etc., I keep looking for red flags. How do I stop overanalyzing them? Yeah, isn't that a common thing, David? We become almost hyper vigilant because that's also, something that we learn as a coping mechanism when we're in this relationship. We're walking on eggshells all the time. We're in this constant state of fight or flight. And we're like, oh, what are we going to see on the other side of the door when we get home? So we are hyper vigilant all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just typical, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. We all have a voice in our head, and that voice in our head is to keep us alive. All our brains care about is staying alive. Our brains don't care about happiness, things like this. That's up to us. So real bad trauma, our brain's going to tell us for quite a long time that, watch out, be careful. This person's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And go back to I'll always go back. You need to understand. If you feel this way, you must not fully understand yet completely what happened. These people aren't scary monsters. And something you also need to realize that the victims of narcissists all have something in common. We all have something in common. We're not just fish in a barrel. They're not picking people randomly. So we're getting together and there's reasons, and you need to understand that and realize that these big bad people out there can't hurt you. They can't hurt you unless you allow them. We let them in our lives, and there's a reason we did that. We fixed that problem. We won't do it again. But we aren't sure of that until it happens, until we have more positive experiences and have some confidence. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, like David said, you stop analyzing other people when you can know what you've been through and know what to look out for, and if you see it, you leave them. Yeah, and that's just a protection mechanism.
Yeah, if this person hurt you and the next person hurt you and the next person hurt you and the next person hurt you, guess what the next person is going to do? No matter what, it's going to hurt us. Yeah, right? It's going to hurt us. But why did these people hurt us? Why? Figure that out. Understand it completely, and you won't think it'll keep happening. I
Yeah,
promise.
absolutely. Okay, we've got Sharon Chamberlain from the Sunshine Coast. Hi, Sharon. We've got Jenny Hallett says, hi, guys. Hey, Jenny. Betty B's here. Hi, Betty. I haven't seen you for a while. Betty says, 6 months ago, I first watched you guys. I have gone back time and time again. Oh, well, it's lovely to have you here, Betty. Yeah, I do remember you. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Leola says, one of the toughest things I have to deal with is the public perception that my ex is good. Oh, I know, Leola, and that's it. That it kills you when you know how abusive they are. But this is their life. Okay, they have to struggle, not struggle. Their life depends on maintaining that image. Okay, can you imagine waking up every morning and thinking, I have to portray an image so that everyone thinks I'm superior? I guess you're only going to really struggle with that if you're trying to convince them that he's good. That he's bad. So don't go in to defend yourself against the abuse. Do the opposite. Don't react. And look, one day, they may see him trip up and reveal his true self, and they may not. But that's his life, and he's going to be, putting that act on the stage forevermore in a day, but you don't want to know about it. And if people tell you about him, you tell them, I don't want to know what he's doing, okay? And you have to make your life as wonderful as possible on this side of the brick wall. There's, imagine a brick wall between you. You don't know, you don't care what's going on on that side of the brick wall, but you know that you're doing wonderfully, and that's what matters. So don't listen to it, because it's garbage, it's rubbish. But I know
Yeah,
when
that's right.
do it hurts.
Yeah. a lot of us do the same thing. Look at Facebook. Think of all the problems people have and all the disease and failed relationships and marriages and things like this. You don't see that on Facebook. We all just put a smile on there, and that's all they do too. You have to realize that a personality disorder isn't an advantage in life. It's a disadvantage in life. They can't possibly seek happiness. They don't even know how to get there or what that is or how to
Yeah.
achieve that. So once you really understand what they are and how they feel and stuff, you'll have a little bit of a compassion, which is good for you when you can finally reach that. But you can never, please never think that they have it easy, they got it good, anything like that. Anything that they're showing or projecting is not true.
Yeah.
Never.
They're never
They're
happy.
miserable.
Yeah, they are miserable
No.
human beings. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got Jackie Knoll here. Hi, Jackie. Let me just open up your question. Jackie says, hi, I just wanted to thank you for pointing out last week about giving myself permission to not feel guilty about the way my mother acts. I appreciate all you say and your page. It's like a massive weight lifting off my shoulders. Oh, Jackie, that's such beautiful words there. Thank you for educating us that are lost as a result of narcissism. Yeah, well, what can I say except thank you, and I'm so glad that you're here, and that what David and I are doing is helping, and it's reaching you guys, and that you're benefiting from it, and you're realizing that this was never my fault, and that you will be able to heal from this. So yeah, thank you so much, Jackie.
That's nice.
Beautiful words. We've got Lizzie Salter there, says hi friends. Hey Lizzie. Aletha Goodrick's here, says hello Nova and David from Redcliffe, Queensland. Hey Aletha. Who else have we got here? My goodness. Okay, we've got Hannah Louise McKell here. Hey Hannah. Joining from South Australia. I haven't watched in a while. I'm 6 months post-breakup and going to counselling. Good for you, Hannah. I had a relapse and saw him, but it just consumed me again and made me mentally ill. Good to be reminded of these videos. Yeah. Talk about that. Did you want to talk about the relapse when we dip our toes back in the abuse, David?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it doesn't help, but it does. Some people need to do that.
Yeah.
Just because we come across the information of what's going on doesn't mean that we don't have more to learn. It means maybe it didn't hurt enough. Maybe you need more pain. Pain's a good lesson. So, yeah, sometimes we go back, and the guilt and the shame that we have to deal with can be tremendous because, as we know, we find out it doesn't mean it's going to work, and it never goes back to being good. And we pick up right where it left off pretty much. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's always really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome that you've been no contact, Hannah. And look, don't beat yourself up about having your relapse because, like David said, this can be the learning, maybe that extra push that you needed to get you into no contact for good. And maybe you just needed that one extra push. So it's, yeah, obviously it really, really hurt when it happened. And I'm so sorry about it. But you're 6 months post breakup, and let's just look at the positives and no contact from here on in. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure after that, a lot of your questions are answered.
Yeah.
Did I try hard enough? Could it work? Can he change? Now you know. And you
Went back
learn.
and
Yeah,
answered
you
all
learn a
the
lot, I hope,
questions.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Christina Imagador, I think it is. I don't think I pronounced that right, Christina. Okay, let me just open your question up. Okay. Christina says, she's got a long one. Hi, I'm based in England and have got a court hearing coming up. My narc ex is taking me to family court over our son's custody and also filed for prohibited steps order. I can't afford representation, so I have to prepare myself for court. CAFCAS, which is Children and Family Court Advisory and Support Services, will be contacting me and asking me some questions. Do you know what sort of things they are going to ask, and what can I say to them to get them to see the truth? And also in the court, how do I present my case? Explain to them that my son is only 2.5 and I don't want him taking him overnight for visits. That's all I can see there. But yeah, oh my goodness. So you've got Christina, you've got the court process coming up, and obviously you've got some kind of support service going there in England, and you want to know what to say to them to convince them that, hey, he's a narcissist and he's abusive, and he's done all these abusive things to me. Oh goodness. Make it factual. Okay, you document. I hope you've been documenting all of the abuse. We spoke about this a few times, David and I, about it doesn't work in your favor when you putting labels on them, like, oh, he's a narcissist, or he's a borderline, or, he's got mental health issues. Document that, in your affidavit when you're talking to that support service about the facts, the abuse, the patterns of abuse, how it made you feel, what it did to your son. You just make it really, I guess, don't minimize everything. We're taught to minimize when we're in these relationships. So don't think that anything is too tiny, because what you think may be a tiny little thing, they may look at and go, oh, wow, that's really bad. So, present your case by being factual. Don't react to his pathological lying, but present all of your case, very, I guess, without being, what he wants you to do, which is really emotionally reactive. Just be the opposite of what he wants you to be, and be that strong, appropriate mother role model, which is what they want to see. Yeah, it's hard. There's no black and white answer, I guess, that we can give them, is there, David? When you
no, there isn't. But yeah, no, there isn't. But you did good. There's great advice. Take it. This is tough. This is sad. This is tragic. We got to get through it. Keep focused and realize that this is for your child the most. Okay, this is not about you and your ex-husband anymore. This is about your child. And keep it that way. And I'm so sorry you can't afford counseling or a counselor. Well, I think she says she's in England. What's that, a barrister?
I'm not sure what it is called but she can't afford representation anyway. Yeah, so she's obviously acting on her own behalf. Yeah, which is really, really.
And make sure there's not government assistance available. Make sure. And if you can't afford a counselor the whole time, at least talk to someone if you can afford that. Get some advice from a lawyer, at least for maybe an hour. A lot of times some will talk to you for free. Get that advice and take it as much as you can, even if you can't afford to hire somebody. Maybe you can afford 1 hour. Maybe you can get some free counseling and some free advice. And I also got to recommend a friend of mine, Dwayne. He's got a channel on YouTube. This is what he talks about. He's wonderful. He's great at it. You'll get a lot of help from there. His channel's Dad Surviving Divorce. You could type in the letters DSD and you'll find him. He's great. He's got really, he's dealt with this so much, and he really helps people out with this because it's a very hard, difficult, sensitive subject. And there's a lot you need to know to inform yourself and be prepared for this. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, thanks for that. I hope David might put it down in one of the comments or something, or in a link when it goes on YouTube to, it's Dwayne, isn't it? To Dwayne's YouTube channel, which has obviously got lots and lots of advice there. I spoke to someone in the live stream last week, David, about this, and it was actually about going to mediation with a narcissist. And, I kind of talked about how, the whole court system, mediators, they know nothing about personality disorders, or very, very little. And this is what you're going to be up against, Christina. So I will tell you, after speaking to a mediator who didn't know anything about personality disorders, what they want to hear when you're in these kind of proceedings is that you're child focused. Okay, so just remember that. So make all the statements that you say about what you think would be best for your child. Don't make it about you and him. And I'm not saying that for a second that you would go in there, you know, with any kind of frame of mind around attacking him or, you know, doing those kinds of things. But just remember that. Just make it all about the child, because then they will go, oh, wow, this is a really child-focused parent. She's not interested in hurting the other party. She just wants what's best for the child. You can do that by still, you know, factually writing down all your experiences and the abuse, but make it about what's best for your child. And also, you need to be the best mother to be able to parent your child so that, you know, that they have a stable mother. So not being abused is part of that. So, yeah, just always remember that the court system, who are very naive when it comes to these cluster B personalities, they really want to hear that one parent's being child focused. So let him go in there and go, she's nuts, she's crazy, she's got mental health issues, she's an alcoholic, she takes drugs, whatever he wants to say. But you just document the abuse and come across as being child focused. So I guess, yeah, that's
great. And that's great. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Remember, please, guys, any accusations or allegations made that have no proof or bearing to them are false. And that makes you the problem, makes you problematic. Okay? Yeah. I'm saying, don't bring stuff up like this. He's a narcissist. He used to hit me, you know, things like this. What are they going to do about it if you don't have pictures of it? You know, I mean,
yeah.
Oh, you're making
it still document the abuse, because we, you know, the court needs to get a picture, but just make it factual and not emotional. Yeah. Yeah. I guess what you want, you, without saying this is, like, you know, I guess what lawyers do, but without actually coming out and saying, hey, he's this, you know, whack job narcissist and he, you know, he's nuts. You want them to infer that from your facts. So you present your case, you know, factually, he abused me this night, he did this was the result of this, which was I had suffered massive anxiety, I couldn't sleep, my child couldn't sleep, you know, just make it really factual, put everything in it and let him do all the accusing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it has nothing to do with the child, I wouldn't even bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Angie Huff. She's replying to Rebecca Kopp here, and she says, you did that, Rebecca, because you clearly have heaps of empathy. My counsellor taught me that even if you had told her she hurt you, you wouldn't get the response you wanted. Absolutely 100% right, Angie. Never from a narcissist. You wouldn't have got validation or that apology. So let that go, as you are probably best not having told her. You need to deal with it through counselling and validation. What she put you through, you're a good person, remember that. Nursing her was a huge act of kindness. Just perfect. Wonderful words of advice there, Angie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we've got Catherine Jane Walker here. Stop that camera from moving. Catherine said, my dad was a narcissist. I was a middle child too. I am empathetic like my mum. I have had 3 narcissistic relationships. I feel numb. Now I think that I've got PTSD too. Middle child. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, look, if you've got a narcissistic dad, Catherine, then you're traumatised. Okay, there is, you know, no two ways about it. If you are the adult child of a narcissist, you've been traumatised. So when we're traumatised as children, we have that inbuilt shame. You know, we were never good enough. We couldn't achieve anything for them. They never loved us. We take that into our adult relationships, and there's such a huge correlation between childhood trauma and, you know, getting into these toxic relationships, isn't there, David?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, obviously, we haven't healed from this. We find similar situations, similar people. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to figure this stuff out. Yeah, lots to learn. Yeah.
It's familiar, Catherine. You know, it's familiar. You're used to toxicity. You were brought up with it. So when it comes along, you on a subconscious level, we seek it out and we make ourselves available to toxic people on a subconscious level because it's familiar. And also because we're resilient. We survived. We got through bigger and worse than that when we were a child. We grew up with people not loving us, so it doesn't matter if someone abuses us because and we're an adult now. We can try and fix them. You know, we've got a lot more power as an adult than we did as a child. We become very resilient to toxic relationships, and that's why we stay. Yeah,
That's right. I deserve it. I'm worthy of this. I don't deserve better. I've got to keep making this person happy. I got to help them. I got to change them because if I do, I'll be happy. Then
yeah.
I'll be happy. Yeah.
And
Someday.
this is as good as it gets. You know, yeah. And I don't want to be alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. Black and white thinking. It's this or nothing. It's this person or nobody. It's all I deserve. I don't deserve any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Jacqueline Dodd there. Hi, Jacqueline. I was lost. I was sad. I was so glad to hear of narcissistic behaviors. I thought I was going mad. Education of that has really shown me how to heal. Love your work. Yeah. And that's what validation is all about, Jacqueline. You don't know what you don't know. And the very nature of this type of abuse is that it's insidious and it comes on slowly and you don't know that you're being abused. You just know that things are really bad and you're unhappy and you don't know why. So you tend to take it on board as your fault. So yeah, education is just key to healing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everything.
Um, who else? We got Millie Molly there. Hi, Millie from New Zealand. Who else has got some questions for Linda Morris is here. Hi, Linda. Emily Simpson's here. Hey, Emily. Let me just try and expand your question. Okay. Emily says, I am almost 6 months out of a 17-year relationship with my narcissistic husband that included physical abuse also. Oh my goodness. I carry a lot of guilt for what I have let my 4 children grow up in. They are 3, 11, 15, and 16. How do I explain how sorry I am and why it was so hard for me to leave? My children called the police during the last assault. He was arrested and we obtained a VRO. That's how we escaped. I am ashamed that it took my children to save us because I couldn't. Thank you. Oh, goodness. David, that guilt we have as parents, because we didn't leave early.
Yeah. That what more guilt? What causes more guilt than children? Yeah.
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 It's like,
Well, your children are okay, right? They're okay. This is life. We learn. You've got to learn and you'll be okay. Eventually, you'll have enough self-compassion for yourself. You know, if you have compassion for your children, you have compassion for other people. Have it for yourself because this is what life is. We can't learn until we make mistakes. It's either that or people just tell us what life is and we just accept it, when we
yeah,
got to learn.
yeah,
So you're learning. It's good. Time will help this and talk about it.
yeah.
Relieve yourself of some of this stuff by talking about it and so you understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Number one, Emily, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. You didn't do this intentionally. You were abused. You were as much a victim as, as the children were at that time. You had no control, and this is what happens when you're in these abusive relationships. We feel so much guilt because we can't leave because the abuse keeps us trapped in the trauma, and then we become emotionally unavailable to the children, and there's all sorts of reasons for that, but you have to forgive yourself. Your kids now, you're out of the abuse and your kids want you to be happy. That's all they want from mum. Okay, and I know that they would forgive you, but you have to forgive yourself. Okay, that you can't heal until you put that to rest. Okay, have a little ceremony or something and go, bring that stuff up here and go, I'm now letting this go, and I forgive myself and put it to rest. Okay, it was not your fault. You did nothing to deserve it, but now you have to. It is your responsibility to heal and to be happy again, because that's what your kids want. They don't want a perfect mum.
Yeah.
You know, they want a happy mum.
That's right. And you don't need to apologize to them. Just you feel better about it. You feel better about it. Mom feels better about it. Mom's feels stronger. Mom's happier. That's what they need. Yeah, they don't need the apology. They need you to apologize to yourself and feel better about what happened. Okay.
Okay. So that's what I want you to do, Emily, is forgive yourself. Okay. So have some sort of little ceremony and put that past in a little box and put it away, and forgive yourself and say that I deserve to be happy and I'm going to be happy. Don't let your abuser ruin the rest of your life.
Self-compassion, guys. We can all so easily have compassion for other people in similar situations we've been in. And you've got to put that to yourself. Give that to yourself. You have to realize that what you've been through is so tragic. So all that matters is not what happened. What matters is what you do right now. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Perfect words. Okay. I hope that's helped, Emily. Millie Molly's here, says, I'm well on my way to healing, but I feel guilt for introducing a fraud to my beautiful family. Yeah. Look, these people do not have signs on their forehead, Millie. And, as we said before, they walk amongst us. And, if they're being kind and they're being lovely, and, especially if you haven't seen behind the mask yet, you haven't seen that true self, why would you think anything differently? Would you go through the rest of your life never introducing a friend to your family in case they're a narcissist? No. So, once again, you've got to forgive yourself. But I guess, once you find out, then you can work out what you're going to do now. But you can't predict the future, and you can't, like I said, they don't have a sign on their forehead, do they, David?
No, and be careful. I mean, be aware of what you're feeling exactly. You sure this is guilt? Why do you feel guilty for introducing him to your family? Did he do something to your family? Is that what you feel guilty about?
Yeah.
Or is it you're ashamed of bringing such an unhealthy person and introducing them to the family? So I think this has a lot of shame, and I think this is you feeling like a bad person with your family, and that may even go deeper. You might feel judged from your family. You might feel shame, pre-existing shame from your family before this guy, before this relationship. That might be a real issue.
Yeah. And once again, possibly, feeling that shame, as pretty much all victims do, over something you had no control over, because that's what you were taught to feel by the narcissist. You were taught that even if stuff wasn't your fault, which 99% of the time it wasn't, that you should feel bad about it. So we take this becomes our norm, and it becomes like a reflex action, a knee-jerk reaction to anything that happens that's bad. It's my fault.
Perfect. Yeah, and that there's a difference between guilt and shame. If you felt guilty, you could apologize. You did a bad thing. You did something you're not happy about, and you can apologize. You can fix these things. Shame isn't something you did, it's something you are. You feel like a bad person for that. So, yeah, that's what it is. It's time to forgive yourself. Yeah, unless they did something horrible to your family and that's what you feel bad about. But I'm guessing this is just I feel bad for introducing someone like him to my family. Yeah. That's shame. Yeah.
Okay, we've got Jamel, Jamie, Casson, Etheridge from USA. Hey, Jamel. Whereabouts are you from in the US? I'm just starting to get my geography a little better. So let us know where exactly you're from. Catherine Jane says they hurt us because we let them. Yeah, unfortunately, we let them. Don't forget, we let them because a lot of the time because we've been traumatized previously, and also because they've conditioned us to accept the abuse and stay in the abuse. So Don't beat yourself up. Learn from it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else have we got? Oh, sorry, guys. We got Bron McPherson says, Deborah Myra's books are amazingly supportive. Okay. Haven't heard of Debbie Myra. Have you, David?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't heard of her, but yeah, if you're gaining a lot of support from that, thank you for letting everyone know about that tonight, Ron. And yeah, guys, another avenue of support there that Ron put up. Thank you. Okay. Seeing if we've got anyone new here. We've got Donna Kennedy there. Hi, Donna. Donna says, yeah, I'm going through the guilt at the moment. My daughter is 26 and she's seen way too much when she was younger. And she asked her dad, why did he hit me in front of her? Now my daughter, let me open that up. Now my daughter has been in a very bad DV marriage and it's breaking me. Oh my goodness, Donna. Yeah. Look, this is not your fault. It's awful to see that, you know, your daughter has gone on, you know, to another an abusive relationship herself. But that's not your fault. Okay, that's the abuser's fault. Okay, he was role modeling, and this is what they do. Her father was role modeling what little girls should accept from a man, okay? And this is what abusive parents do, male and female. They role model to their kids what is acceptable, okay? So what your daughter saw, and this was not your fault, okay? What your daughter saw was the abuser hitting you, okay? So kids, I don't know, that they soak that up in their brain, and then, you know, I guess the first time that happens to them, it's not such a big deal because, you know, they saw it happening, you know, when they were a kid. And they also role model to their sons because their sons grow up thinking that this is how you treat women. So this wasn't your fault. I know it's so hard not to feel guilty as a parent because you were there, okay? And you think all sorts of things like, oh, I should have left earlier, I should have got out. Well, you know what? That's the person talking who is out of the abusive relationship, and you know how damn hard it is to get out of that domestic violence cycle, okay? So you're out of it now, and I guess she's lucky. She's lucky in the way that she's got you to support her because clearly she's got a mum who loves her and could support her through that. But yeah, just these toxic, abusive parents, they have no idea what they do to their children, do they, David? Just the role modeling. It becomes
No.
the norm.
Yeah, no, and it's really important for everyone to understand that no matter what your relationship with anyone, we are all responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our emotions, our feelings, things like this. And your daughter needs to get help for herself is the best thing for her because that's trauma. That's trauma, experiencing that. And trauma again equals shame. You know, and that's why she's in this relationship. She feels like a bad person. She deserves it.
Yeah,
So we are all responsible for ourselves. You've raised her. There's not much more you can do for her. She's not a child anymore. But she needs to get help. Try
yeah,
to encourage her to get help. Yeah.
yeah. So she's lucky she's got you to support her. So just be there for her, Donna, and help her when she needs it to, you know, try and I guess
Yeah,
and
you
get her
can't
out of
take
that.
that responsibility. Yeah, yeah. Try not to take that responsibility for how she feels now as an adult anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Bron says, for the adult child of a narc parent, what do you suggest we do to move forward? David, adult child of a
Yeah.
narcissist, how do they move
Yeah,
forward?
like we've been saying yeah, for like the last hour. This is
Yeah,
about understanding. We really got to see the whole picture of our lives like a movie. You know,
yeah,
we got to see the whole thing and really the more understanding you have, the more your brain will relax, the worse the feelings are associated with this, the less shame we have, really, healing, we've got to not just feel better, we've got to learn. This
Mm.
learning, this understanding, that's what helps us feel better.
Yeah.
So keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. We got to get away from sources that cause this. We need supportive people, good people. Realize that people caused a lot of this. People will help a lot of this for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isolation is something we can all do. A lot of victims of this. We've become, introverts and isolate and things like this. We need
Yeah.
people. So yeah, keep learning. Keep learning. I'm telling you, any confusion, any bad feelings, any trauma, any nightmares, we just don't have a clear understanding of everything yet.
Yeah, yeah, and don't forget, Bron, that it's okay to go no contact from a narcissist parent. I think this is a lot of the that victims, adult children struggle with, don't they, David? Is that oh, she's my mother, it's my father. How can I just abandon them? That's because those feelings of guilt and obligation to your toxic parent have they've spent a lifetime manufacturing those feelings in you. And this is where, through your learning, you learn that it is okay to go no contact with your abuser. It doesn't matter that it's your mother or a father, it's your abuser. Okay, so the same rules apply. Yes, you will get people from society and community going, how can you do that to your mother? It's Christmas. How can you not have contact with them? They haven't walked in your shoes and you don't owe them an explanation. You owe yourself an explanation. And it is okay to go no contact with someone who's abusing us. You can't heal in the same environment that you got sick. And the same applies to toxic parents. So you break that contact, and if you are feeling stronger with more boundaries and you cannot react to their gaslighting, then maybe you start having contact again. But if you don't want to, then you stay away. Because just because they're your parent does not give them the right to abuse you and play with your brain.
Yeah, this is clear indication that you've been trained to not pay attention to how you feel, that your feelings aren't significant, and they're way less significant and important than their feelings. So we always worry about what they feel, how they think, how they feel, what they think of us, the stuff like this. And you're not paying attention to your feelings because that's more important than theirs.
Yeah.
We have to put ours first. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to.
And
Yeah.
as children of narcissistic parents, as adult children, um, we've been raised to think that that you will be there when I'm old. They've conditioned you to that so that they've got narcissistic supply for the rest of their life. So you adult kids have probably got it worse than anyone because you've been conditioned over such a long time. And don't forget that the narcissistic parent is really low on supply when they get old. They can't suck people in all the time because they've burnt so many bridges and lied to so many people. This somatic narcissist, they can't use their looks and, go and sleep with people. So they rely heavily on their adult children to get their needs met, and they use that fear, obligation, and guilt to make you come into that vortex of abuse, and you do not owe them anything.
Yeah, that's right. And narcissistic parents, what we said about narcissists before is that they are, emotional children. So the emotional attention isn't put on you. It's put on them, and you will be even parentified, emotionally parentified. And you guys know this. Maybe your narcissistic mother or father has a bad day, has a bad experience. They're upset. You check on them. Are you okay? Are you okay? We aren't supposed to be doing this as children. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be doing that for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we might just answer a couple more, guys. We're just about come to that time of night. We've got Vanessa Lyons here from Queensland, Australia. Hi, Vanessa. Okay. We've got Melanie Tennant there. Hey, Melanie. Mine just tells me to get over it, and I have to just leave it all in the past and move on. Yeah, look, Melanie, that's if obviously you're still having contact with your narcissist, but that's just what they do to remain unaccountable and not have any responsibility. It's like, you're a drama queen. Stop trying to cause an argument. I don't want to talk about this with you because they might perceive some sort of criticism in what you say, and they know they probably will. So they shut you down and they give you silent treatment, tell you to move on. And this is just gaslighting, which makes you go crazy. Yeah. So just try and get away from them, Melanie, and just know that that's gaslighting.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about how you feel.
Yeah, you're
Absolutely not,
feeling
never.
very relevant. You know that if you look, like we've been saying, you know, if they even perceive the tiniest bit of criticism, you know, they'll spit the dummy, and you know that they just cannot handle it. They will have a tantrum, spit the dummy like a little toddler. That's who you're dealing with. Okay. Oh God, it's chockers tonight. We've got heaps of people here. Christy Lee Skeens here. Hi, Christy. Who else have we got? One more. We've got Deborah Halpin there. Hi, Deborah. Angela Draper's there. Okay. Angela says, the opposite is true also. You can remove NARC children and go no contact. Yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about that very often, do we? I'm going to ask David about parents with narcissistic children. Yeah, we might need to do, but yeah, it's the same, isn't it? Like no one has the right to abuse you, whether they're a parent or your child. And I think it's maybe even harder for non-disordered parents when they have got narcissistic children, because you know that's their baby, you know, that's their flesh and blood. How do you you know, go no contact with your child? But you have to. It's just as important. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angela.
Yeah, that's extremely tough. And here again, we've got to be accountable and responsible for ourselves, not other people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easier to say than do.
Absolutely. But it's incredibly hard, and you really, really have to sit there and work through, you know, the pros and cons of being a doormat to your child. You know, are they just coming back for money? Are they using you? Are they abusing you? You know, there's lots of kids there that are abusing their own parents, and yeah, you don't deserve to be abused by anybody.
Yeah, right. And are you helping or are you enabling? Because that's how narcissistic children became narcissists. They were enabled. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Yeah.
we're not saying through you, Angela, but something that happened, like, probably, you know, with the other parent, or somewhere in their life, uh, something happened to them to, you know, make that switch flip. But it doesn't matter. Someone's trauma is not an excuse to abuse someone else. I hate that when you know, when you see those I don't know, articles or memes that says, "Oh, hurt people hurt people." You know, no.
Yeah.
Hurt people have empathy and set out not to do the same thing to someone else. That's my.
Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And if people aren't hurting anymore, they tend to not hurt others anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. Anyway, so hope that's helped, Angela. We'll finish off with Samina Copperu, last one for the night. Hi Samina, how do I just get over the hate feelings I have? Was with my abuser for 9 years. I have, we've got Andrew there. Hi, Andrew. Was with my abuser for 9 years. I have 3 children, no contact for 6 months. Best thing ever. Moved country last September, and it's been 3 months now. How do you get over the hate, David?
List every single thing you hate about him and why.
Yep.
If I didn't do it, do it again. Read them. Keep saying it. Eventually you won't be as angry anymore. Take
Yeah.
some time, allow yourself to be angry, find out why, talk about it till you're not angry anymore. Seriously. Yeah. A lot of betrayal, a lot of anger.
I tell my clients to do that all the time too. You know, write down all those disgusting things he did to you or she did to you, and every time you have, and then I guess put it out of your mind. You know, get it all out there, work through it, and then put it to rest. Say, okay, that was one part of my life. I am no longer giving my abuser any more space in my head, because as long as you hold that anger, they still are inside your head. So that what you need to be is indifferent. Okay, so indifference is different to hating. That's where you need to be, where you just don't care about them anymore, and that takes work to get through that, but you will get there.
Yeah, understand what happened more.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can see that, if you can see what you can change about that, you won't allow it to happen again. If you can do that, yeah, it helps. Understand. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's come to that time of night. We've got Tash there. Hi, Tash. I just thought I just saw Andrew's little comment here, so I just thought I'd read this out to you, David, because it's absolutely beautiful. Andrew says, I stumbled across David by sheer accident when I was absolute rock bottom after 15 years of narcissistic abuse. He literally saved my life. I had absolutely no idea what was going on, but until he explained it. Now I have a great job and custody of my kids and healing steadily. God bless you both. Oh, thank you, Andrew. David.
Thank you, Andrew. That's very nice. And thank you for sharing to everybody. You just said it. You understand. And that's really what helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Having self-compassion, compassion for others is beautiful. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, guys, let's come to that time of the night. I want to say thank you very much for joining David and I. It's been an awesome night as always. I hope you'll be back. These live streams are on every Tuesday night, but Tuesday night's Brisbane time, so that could be the day before, depending on where you are in the world. 7 p.m. Brisbane time. So I know David, it was like 1 a.m. in the morning over in Las Vegas when he tuned in. Please, guys, we need to spread awareness about narcissistic abuse, and the only way we can do that is to share. Get this information out there to help you and help others. So, yeah, David and I would love it if you could share the live stream and help us to spread awareness so we can help more people. Okay, on that note, also David, guys, please subscribe to David's YouTube channel. You just heard what a wonderful inspiration and help he is to Andrew, and he does that to thousands and thousands of people on every day in his YouTube channel, which is called Demars Coaching, Demars Coaching. So look it up, subscribe. David puts these live streams on there too, so yeah, thank you so much, David, and make sure you subscribe to his channel.
Thank you so much. And everyone that watches these, please support Nova as well. I'm serious. We've got to support people doing this kinds of stuff. It's the only way this information will get out there. The bigger it is, better chances and opportunities people have, victims have. So please go over Brighter Outlook Counseling Service. I'll put the link in down below to her YouTube channel, to her Facebook page. Please just go over there. Subscribe, push a button, please. Thank you. And thank you, all of you there in Australia and around the world, for being active with this videos. It really helps. Thank you. And thank you for having me on, Nova, again.
Oh, my pleasure. So everyone, don't forget David's here every second Tuesday night. I'll be back next Tuesday. So tell everyone you know who you think might be going through this to join in. We would love to see you here. Okay, thanks a lot, David. Appreciate it so much. As always, I love doing these live streams with you. Such a wealth of knowledge you are. And I know that all of my followers love having you here too. So thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you. Well, I'll probably talk to you after, but we'll see you here on the live stream in a couple of weeks.
Great. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Okay. See you, David.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Loving David here. Okay, guys, look, it's been an amazing night. Your questions. I learn something new every time we do these live streams. You know, whether it's from you guys or from David, they're just so important, I think, keep learning, because you know, there's just so much out there that we still need to know. So as I said before, if you would like to have a private counselling session with me, just inbox me here at Brighter Outlook. I'll get back to you ASAP. I Skype people, I counsel people via Skype all over the world. So whether you're in the US, Nigeria, New Zealand, England, wherever you are, anywhere in Australia, I can talk to you via Skype. So please just inbox me and we can set that up straight away. It's been wonderful having you here, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Brisbane time. So please take care, guys. Get that one out, and have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll just see you next week. Thank you, and remember your worth, and then add tax. Bye, everyone.